The pick is in.
With the 15th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Rueben Bain Jr., edge from Miami. Locked On NFL Draft is sponsored by Kalshi. Trade draft picks in a live market with no house. Download the app, use code Locked On, get $10 when you trade 10. Kalshi, trade on anything. I am Tanisha Batiste, and I'm joined now by James Yarko from Locked On Bucs. And James, first and foremost, were you surprised that Bain was actually there, that he fell to the Bucs at 15?
Very, very surprised. This is a guy that we've talked about throughout the entire draft process as being a top 10 pick, being the number 2 edge rusher in this class. And now all of a sudden he falls into Jason Light's lap at arguably their biggest position of need. You could say it was off-ball linebacker. Sonny Styles goes to Washington. That wasn't going to happen. So to have Rueben Bain fall for a team that has not had a player with double-digit sacks since Shaq Barrett in 2021 was an absolute gift. Honestly, I thought this only ever happened to Howie Roseman and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, that is one of those where that's a typical Eagles-like scenario that happens there. But Bain, one of those surprises that was still available sort of midway through the first round. And obviously we all know what we saw from him in this last All-American season that he had anchoring that Miami defense. But when you look at Bain, James, what do you feel is that strength that he brings to this Bucs defense?
Just the aggressiveness, the motor. He's not a one-trick pony, and I think that's what makes him so special, especially at his age. His teammate, Akeem Mesidor, is a guy that I talked about a lot on Locked On Bucs because I felt that he was going to be a legitimate option, even though he was 25, even though he had the injury history. But Rueben Bain, at such a young age, to be as polished and developed as he is, with still room to grow and an even higher possible ceiling, this is a player that immediately brings a spark to a defense that desperately needs it. So, I think that his fit in Todd Bowles' defense, his ability to be able to pin his ears back and get after the quarterback, still be really, really good in run defense. We are going to start to see kind of that Shaq Barrett, Jason Pierre-Paul type of player that we got in the Bowles defense during that Super Bowl run.
Yeah. And he's one of those players where there's not a lot that you can pick at. It might be nitpicking indeed, thinking about the fact that he is a sub 31-inch arm length, becoming the first defensive end with that particular stat, if you will, to be drafted in the first round since back in 99. And he'll then look to become the first player with that arm length to have a 10-plus sack season in the same time span. But other than that, what are maybe some of the areas because that's not something that you can actually work on or improve skill-wise from a skill perspective, James, what's maybe one of the areas you can see Todd Bowles and company going after in order to improve Bain and get him ready for the regular season?
I think one thing that they're really going to focus on is the missed tackles. Although he does get to the ball carrier a lot, he does get to the quarterback a lot, he's not as sure of a tackler as you would probably want. Not saying that he's bad, but if he can take that part of his game and kind of eliminate it and become an even more sure tackler, we're talking about Pro Bowl, potential all-pro, down the line as he continues to get used to the NFL game. But like you said, you kind of have to nitpick here because he is such a solid prospect and he does have such a high ceiling. So outside of the arm length, which didn't seem to bother him through the college football playoff or against some of the top tier teams that the Miami Hurricanes faced last year, it's a really solid pick that, you work on the missed tackles a little bit. You work on being a little bit more explosive and understanding how to anticipate the snap count a little bit better. But other than that, this is a plug-and-play 3-down starter for the Buccaneers.
Indeed. Well, we appreciate you, James. And for more on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, be sure to subscribe to Locked On Bucs wherever you get your podcasts.